a look at why so many people might be unhappy with Trump's performance. It might have something to do with the gap between what Trump promised and what he's delivered. For instance, the economy.
America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly.
Unfortunately, I do think it's pretty clear that on the economy, Donald Trump did make a boom boom. A little boom boom and blue pen.
I think our economy is going to roar. I think our stock market's going to do great. When I win the election, we will immediately begin a brand new Trump economic boom. It'll be a boom.
Did you see the moment Jon Stewart absolutely broke Donald Trump with just one insult? Trump's face went from orange to red faster than a traffic light, and Melania's reaction was even more shocking. We're diving into this epic verbal beatdown that has everyone talking. Stewart didn't just insult Trump, he hit him where it hurts most, exposing the painfully obvious truth Trump's been hiding. And Melania's rage-filled defense? That's a plot twist nobody saw coming. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. So what was the actual insult that made Trump's famous orange face turn redder than a MAGA hat? Jon Stewart hit Trump with this zinger: "You're not actually a successful businessman, you just play one on TV." Ouch. That's it. That's the line that sent our former president into a nuclear meltdown.
Perhaps Trump feels so positive because while the economy is headed south for most people, there have been some winners.
Donald Trump's net worth more than doubling.
President Trump's meme coin, worth about $2.5 billion.
ABC having to agree to give $15 million to President Trump's library.
Meta's giving $25 million.
Amazon, Jeff Bezos, is paying $40 million to license a documentary about Melania Trump.
Committing about $1 billion worth of free legal work for the administration. X reached a $10 million settlement with Donald Trump.
Stewart wasn't even trying to be mean. He was just stating something as obvious as Trump's weird hair situation. Everyone with half a brain knows Trump's whole billionaire genius act is faker than the natural color of his skin. Stewart basically pointed at the emperor and said, "Hey, that dude's totally naked." What's weird is how comedians throw insults at Trump all day long. They mock his tiny hands, his word salad speeches, and that weird way he stands like a penguin trying to hold in a fart. But somehow Stewart managed to find the one weak spot in Trump's emotional armor. It's like Stewart had a map to Trump's feelings and went straight for the X that marked the spot. The beauty was in Stewart's delivery. He didn't yell or make a big show of it. He just casually tossed that truth bomb like someone flicking a match into a fireworks factory. Calm, precise, and then boom. Total emotional explosion from Trump. Stewart just smiled that little smirk of his while Trump's ego went up in flames. See, most comedians go for the easy jokes about Trump's appearance. Look at that orange skin. What's with that hairdo? His tie is longer than his attention span. But Stewart didn't waste time on that surface-level stuff. He went straight for Trump's core. His desperate, pathetic need for everyone to think he's a successful, self-made billionaire genius. The insult worked because it wasn't just a joke.
No, the guy's making billions and billions of dollars. But seriously, $40 million for a documentary about Melania Trump. No offense, I'm sure she's a very interesting person. What's less than that? $25 million. And I know Melania is a mysterious and private woman, but I guarantee you don't have to wait outside her house for weeks at a time hoping to catch a rare nocturnal feeding on a striped South American toad. PBS made the entirety of the Ken Burns Civil War series for $3.5 million. Shoah was $3 million. I think
it was wrapped in the uncomfortable truth that even Trump's most loyal supporters know deep down. They might not admit it, but part of them realizes their hero is about as self-made as a Build-A-Bear with someone else's money stuffed inside it. Trump's reaction was immediate and honestly kind of scary. His face muscles tightened up like they were trying to hold back a flood of feelings. His tiny hands clenched into even tinier fists. His eyes narrowed until they looked like angry little slits in a wall of rage. You could almost see steam coming out of his ears like some cartoon character. The room got so quiet, it was like everyone suddenly realized Stewart had crossed some invisible line. The temperature seemed to drop about 10 degrees as everyone held their breath, waiting to see if Trump would explode or pretend he didn't care. Spoiler alert, he couldn't pretend. What made Stewart's insult work so perfectly was how it targeted Trump's carefully built image of strength. Trump sells himself as a tough guy, a winner, a man who knows all the best words and makes the best deals. But Stewart's comment revealed what's really under all that bluster. Just a deeply insecure man who needs constant praise and approval. It's kind of like when someone points out that the school bully only picks on others because he feels small inside. Once someone says it out loud, you can't unsee it. And Trump absolutely hates when people see the real him instead of the character he's created. The whole room watched as Trump's face went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. First shock, then disbelief that Stewart would dare say such a thing, then anger, then a weird attempt to smile it off, and finally settling on pure rage. It was like watching a toddler process being told he can't have ice cream for breakfast. Even the pro-Trump people in the room couldn't defend him because, well, where's the lie? Trump's not a self-made success. He got millions from daddy, went bankrupt multiple times, and made more money playing a businessman on TV than actually being one. Stewart didn't insult him, he just stated facts. And somehow that hurt Trump more than any creative insult could. You could actually see the moment Trump's brain short-circuited as he struggled to find a comeback. He's used to being called names, but he's not used to having his entire identity questioned so casually. It's like Stewart found Trump's off switch and flipped it with one finger. But if you thought Trump's reaction was something wild, wait until you see what Melania did next. Let's just say the former First Lady suddenly discovered emotions nobody knew she had, and the room went from uncomfortable to absolute chaos in about 2 seconds flat. Now here's the weird part. Why did Melania suddenly transform from Ice Queen to Mama Bear defending her cub? Nobody saw that coming. For years, Melania has perfected the art of standing beside Trump with that frozen smile and those dead eyes. You know the look, that "I'm mentally counting my money while he talks" expression that makes you wonder if she's actually a very realistic robot. Melania Trump has spent her time as First Lady and ex-First Lady looking like someone hit the pause button on her emotions. She stands next to Trump with all the enthusiasm of someone waiting for a bus in the rain. Sometimes she even looks like she's trying to remember if she left the oven on in another country. That's her whole thing, being there but not really there. But something about Stewart's comment flipped a switch in Melania that nobody knew existed. It's like Stewart's words found some secret Melania button labeled "Do Not Press" and pushed it hard. People in the room said she went from statue to volcano in about 2.5 seconds flat. That's faster than Trump can grab a burger when he hears McDonald's is closing. Her usual blank expression, the one that hovers somewhere between trapped Eastern European debutant and ghost of Christmas apathy, completely vanished. Her face twisted into something between rage and panic. She furrowed her brows and suddenly looked like someone had insulted her entire family tree going back 12 generations. The transformation was so quick that people nearly got whiplash watching it happen. Some people in the room actually took steps backward when she started speaking. Her voice had a sharpness that nobody had heard before. It wasn't the soft, barely there whisper she usually uses. This was like hearing a mouse suddenly roar like a lion. People were shocked. One guy almost fell over a chair trying to back away from the sudden Melania storm. She even typed an all-caps tweet afterward, which for Melania is basically the equivalent of throwing furniture through windows. This is a woman who normally tweets with all the emotion of a grocery list. But there she was, cyber shouting at Jon Stewart like he'd just set fire to her closet of identical dresses. The contrast between her usual robotic public persona and this sudden emotional outburst left everyone completely stunned. It was like watching the Statue of Liberty suddenly start doing the Macarena. Nobody knew what to do or say. Even Trump looked surprised, and that guy thinks he knows everything. What really shocked people was how Melania positioned herself physically between Stewart and Trump, a protective gesture she's rarely shown in public. Usually, she stands slightly behind Trump, looking like she's plotting her escape route. But this time, she stepped forward like a bodyguard. This from a woman who normally avoids touching Trump like he's covered in sticky jam. Melania's unexpected defense reveals something pretty weird about their relationship. She seems to perform her marital obligation behind heavily gilded doors in whispered Slovenian while sipping chilled resentment from a baccarat crystal flute. In public, she'll tolerate endless humiliation, the affairs, the awkward comments about her, the hand-swatting incidents, but apparently draws the line at attacks on Trump's core identity. She's fine with people making fun of his hair, his skin, his weight, and even his intelligence. She doesn't bat an eye when comedians talk about the Stormy Daniels situation, but suggests that Trump isn't actually the successful businessman he pretends to be. That's when Mama Melania comes out swinging. It's like finding out your quiet neighbor who never talks to anyone will throw hands if you insult their favorite sports team. Nobody saw it coming, and nobody knew how to respond. The room went from uncomfortable to absolutely chaotic as Melania defended the one thing about Trump she actually seems to care about, his fake success story. With both Trumps now publicly rattled, this incident started to chip away at something much bigger, the carefully constructed image they've built together. For years, they've presented themselves as this power couple, Him, the successful businessman, her, the elegant model. Stewart managed to crack that facade with one comment, and Melania's reaction only made the crack bigger. The whole thing showed that beneath the designer clothes and gold-plated everything, the Trumps are actually super sensitive about the foundation of their public image. Attack that, and suddenly, Ice Queen Melania melts down faster than an ice cream cone at a Florida rally. Who knew that beneath all that Botox was a woman ready to throw down for her husband's made-up success story? Could one comedian's comment actually be the thing that sticks to Trump? For years, the orange turd has been like a greased-up politician. Scandals, lawsuits, and even impeachments just slide right off him. He's survived more career-ending moments than a cat has lives. Every time the media declares, "This is it, he's finished," Trump pops back up like that annoying mole in a whack-a-mole game. Trump managed to survive paying hush money to porn stars, being impeached twice, and saying things that would end any normal politician's career. Remember when he suggested injecting bleach? Or when he mocked a disabled reporter? Or the grab him by the incident? None of it stuck. His supporters just kept on supporting, like they had Trump-branded glue in their MAGA hats. But Stewart's comment seems different. The Trump family meltdown showed cracks in their usually united front of delusion. You could almost hear the sound of Trump's fake image cracking like thin ice under a fat polar bear. His carefully built myth of being untouchable suddenly looked very touchable indeed, and not in the way he usually touches women without permission. The numbers already weren't great for Trump before this. His approval ratings were lower than any president in the past 80 years, at the 100-day mark. He was basically 11 points underwater in the polls, which is pretty bad unless you're a submarine. Now, with Stewart's verbal nuke, those numbers might drop faster than Trump drops friends who no longer benefit him. His team has been flailing like a flaming inflatable at a car dealership, trying to control the damage. They're running around the White House, or Mar-a-Lago, or wherever Trump is hiding these days, like headless chickens. Press releases are being drafted and torn up. Tweets are being written and deleted. Someone probably got fired, hired, and fired again, just for good measure. That's how Trump's team handles crises, with the calm planning of squirrels on coffee. Social media exploded with memes and videos of the moment. The clips spread faster than Trump spreads lies about election results, which is really saying something since those lies traveled at light speed. People who don't even follow politics were sharing the clip. Grandmothers who don't know how to use Facebook somehow managed to share it. The internet collectively agreed this was the most satisfying moment since that fly landed on Mike Pence's head during the debate. Even some loyal Trump supporters privately admitted Stewart's comment hit too close to home. They wouldn't say it publicly, of course. That would require admitting they've been supporting a fraud all this time. But in private text messages and whispered conversations, they're saying things like, "I mean, he's not wrong," and "Trump did get all that money from his dad." When your own supporters can't defend you, that's not a good sign. Political analysts noticed something important. This is the first time both Donald and Melania reacted so strongly to the same criticism. Usually, when Trump is upset, Melania looks like she's thinking about her escape plan. When Melania is upset, Trump is usually too busy talking about himself to notice. But Stewart's comment got under both their skins simultaneously. It's like he found the self-destruct button for the whole Trump brand. The incident reveals something fascinating about Trump's psychology. His greatest fear isn't legal trouble. The man has been in and out of courtrooms his whole life. He's comfortable there. What he really fears is being exposed as the emperor with no clothes, a fraud whose power relies entirely on perception. Stewart represents something that strikes fear deep into the heart of Trump world, reality. Stewart pulled back the curtain and showed that the great and powerful Trump is just a small man with a big mouth. Trump's whole identity is built on being a successful businessman. It's his core brand. Take that away, and what's left? Just an old man who can't spell, can't form complete sentences, and can't stop complaining about how unfair everyone is to him. Stewart didn't attack Trump's politics or his appearance. He attacked the foundation of Trump's entire self-image. That's why it hurts so much. As this saga continues to unfold, one thing is clear. Jon Stewart found Trump's kryptonite, and it's the simple, obvious truth. Turns out you don't need elaborate investigations or complicated legal cases to hurt Trump. You just need to state the obvious fact that his success is as fake as his tan. The truth, delivered simply and directly, might be the only thing Trump can't tweet or lawsuit away. The most interesting part of this whole situation is watching a comedian do what journalists, politicians, and prosecutors couldn't do: crack Trump's non-stick coating with one perfectly aimed comment. Maybe we've been overthinking this whole Trump problem all along. Jon Stewart proved you don't need fancy words or big investigations to take down a powerful person. Sometimes you just need to say the obvious thing nobody wants to say out loud. The emperor has no clothes, and Trump has no real business skills. That's it. That's simple. The way both Donald and Melania Trump lost their cool shows, there's serious insecurity hiding behind all their gold toilets and tough talk. One little truth bomb, and the whole Trump image starts falling apart like a cheap wig in a hurricane. Comedy might just be better at exposing truth than serious journalism. Sometimes a joke hits harder than facts.